Okay. First card we have is the Hermit, the Knight of Wands, Two of Wands, Queen of Swords, which is your energy, Seven of Wands, the King of Swords, that could be your energy as well. Interesting. Eight of Pentacles, Ten of Wands, and finally, the Ten of Swords. At the bottom of the deck, overall energy for your month is going to be the Knight of Swords. So a lot of your energy is coming up in the reading with the Knight of Swords, the Queen, and the King of Swords. We also have the Ten of Swords here. I think, though, that there's two tens here. To me, in this spread, I think it's really talking about putting things finally to bed, putting an end to things that need to have an ending. And I feel like this month in August, you're really excited to start something new. There's some new change coming about for you, and I feel like there's an excitement about starting new. So whatever has been lingering for you, or something that's been maybe you felt has held you back in a way, this is the month where you put it to bed and you're on your way to a new way of living, or a new way of being. Even some of you may be moving location, because we have, for me, the Two of Wands and these two Knights. I kind of feel like you may be making a decision to move. And some of you, that applies to work. Some of you, it may be that you want to change jobs or change careers. You're tired of what you're doing. You feel like it's redundant, because with the Eight of Pentacles, we do have redundancy. This man is not really focused on anything else going on around him. He's really focused on just his work and the task at hand. So this may be where you actually look up from what you're doing, and you're recognizing that you have more skills and talents that you want to actually utilize, and you're standing up for yourself, and you're looking for opportunities to manifest that, I think. This comes after a period of some deep contemplation, though, with the Hermit above the Queen of Swords. I feel like you've really been thinking about what kind of changes you want to make, or what kind of strides you want to, make and work towards. This isn't anything new, but I feel like in the month of August, this is where you actually just like, with the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Swords, this is you just like rushing towards that new beginning. You've already made up your mind. I mean, the Hermit and the Two of Wands, I feel like you've already made up your mind about wanting to move in a new direction. If this is a relationship dynamic between the King and Queen of Swords, I just feel like there's a lack of communication. I feel like you two always feel like you're on guard or defensive with one another. I feel like for the Queen here, she's wanting to actually work on the relationship, but with the King of Swords, it's talking about, look, I'm just done. I just don't even want to even talk anymore. I don't want to do anything. I just feel like we're beating a dead horse. So for those of you in that situation, I just feel like you're not seeing eye to eye. And be careful with what you say. Don't just say things out of anger, hostility, because you feel like you're misunderstood. This is a time to really just sit back and listen and contemplate. Because if you really listen to what this other person is telling you, I think you'll get your answers. And you won't even have to ask. Let me pull some clarifying cards on this. I want to look at the Well, let's look at the Hermit first. This is like, I think, the only major arcana, yeah, that you have in this spread. So, you've been thinking either about a lover. Maybe you feel like they've been dishonest with you, maybe to your face. They're acting very nice, but you're worried that behind your back there's some deceit or some deception going on. They're taking advantage of you in some way. You may even try spying on them. With this enemy card and the Hermit card being up here, I think that there's a lack of trust here in this relationship, and you're acknowledging that with the Hermit. It's either a relationship or a situation where you're acknowledging that there's, unhappiness here. You're lying to yourself if you tell yourself you love what you do or you're in the place where you want to be. You really are contemplating new ways of living and finding new ways of seeking what truly brings you happiness. Again, it could be a job, it could be a relationship, it could be a number of things. I'm going to look at the Knight of Swords. And it's again, yeah, it's reminding you, whatever the circumstance is, you need time to think and process this before you communicate with anybody about it. I think if you speak too soon, you may let your ego or your pride and your emotions get the better of you in this conversation, and you're not going to get the outcome that you ultimately want from this situation. So I think it's best if you just sit back and listen to what this person is telling you, because ultimately they're telling you, I'm done. And there's something here about acknowledging that, accepting that, and moving forward. This is especially true if you have two air signs. I mean, we have the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords. So we're dealing with either a fellow Gemini like yourself, or we're dealing with a Libra or an Aquarius. It can also be that this other person, if they're not an air sign, they're embodying the characteristics of this air sign. Can be just because they're both swords, it can be a lack of communication. That's why you're both coming up with the swords card. Swords talk about communication and intellect and how we process information. Just can be there's miscommunication here, especially with the Seven of Wands in the middle. I think you both are just passionate about where you're coming from. Seven of Wands. I'm getting something here. Hold on. There's something going on here with the Seven of Wands. Something significant. There's something... I'm getting a message. Hold on. I'm getting a strong ending. You're battling it out with somebody. I mean, the cards that have come up on this is the Room, Old Woman, and the Wedding. This is talking about secretly, how we secretly feel and what our true heart's desire is. This is like in our heart of hearts, how do we really feel? This may be something we haven't openly expressed yet. But it's coming out in the open maybe in the month of August, and we're discussing our relationship and the dynamics of our relationship with this person. We've been together with this person for a long time, maybe 7 years, 7 to 10 years. And there's something here about we need to really see things for what they are. Just be careful with your communication this month. Whether you're single or whether you're in a relationship, don't rush into any relationship. Don't rush into any type of decisions. Don't speak too soon out of anger or you know, emotions. Just really listen to what's going on. Listen to what's being said. Even if this is a work situation, it may be a boss that you feel, you're having a hard time with, and you're wondering whether you should even continue down this path. I just feel like this is a period where you need to hear what they're saying, and that will help you make your decision. But with 210, there's an ending somewhere. Whether it's with that employer, with that boss, maybe changing positions, maybe changing careers altogether for some of you. It's ultimately about chasing your happiness and asking yourself what really matters. So let's see what's going on regarding love for Gemini for the month of August. What are the love messages for Gemini? And the Nine of Wands, which flew out. I'm going to set this to the side and see how it resonates with the other cards. Okay, we have two other cards that flew out, another card, so I'm going to start laying them out. We have the Eight of Wands came out first, then the Moon card. We then have the Three of Swords, card wants to come out. This is the Wheel of Fortune. Show you that. Okay, I think we're ready. We have Eight of Wands, Nine of Swords, Six of Pentacles, King of Swords, which could be your energy, the Knight of Cups, and at the bottom of the deck, overall energy is the Six of Cups. Quick drink there. So, Gemini, there's a lot going on this month. We have 2 nines, which talks about things being near completion. I want to say for some of you, if you're single, I think somebody from the past may come back and offer their love to you. But I think that, I don't think you're going to accept the offer. I don't see that. I think that this person caused you a lot of heartache, a lot of trouble, a lot of sadness, a lot of grief, and ultimately you're really focused on what you desire most. I think this is a month where if you're single, you're really focused on yourself, you're focused on your own passions, your own excitement, your own joy. I see you maybe being even very sexually active or driven. Maybe I want to say for some of you, if you are feeling, that way, more froggy, I'll say, make sure you're safe, because I think that later on down the line you may have some worry about that. So just make sure you protect yourself. You don't want any STDs or unexpected, types of news or pregnancy. So be careful when it comes to that. But ultimately, honestly, it comes down to you looking at what makes you happy. And I think for some of you, it's acknowledging that maybe right now it's not a relationship. Maybe it's just having fun. Maybe it's just dating. Maybe it's just, hanging out and enjoying yourself. For others of you who are single, I want to say that maybe for some time there's been someone from your past that has been lingering in your mind. And I think that you haven't been able to really move on from this person. This person may be returning this month. And you have a choice as to whether or not you are going to accept their love offer. This could go the other way too, where you're offering that love to someone, you know, and maybe you've been on their mind and they've been on your mind. It could go both ways, but it might be like a reconciliation of some kind. By the end of August, I'll say. In the beginning of August, I think it's really you dealing with your emotions. There's some heartache here that I see you're dealing with, but new love is on the horizon. There's something new and good coming in, but you may not initially see it that way, or it may be that you don't even acknowledge it's there, that it's coming in. You're so focused on something negative, some heartbreak that you've been dealing with. It could be recent, and it can be from, a more distant past. But I feel like there may be a change in this situation where you're reconnecting emotionally and you're trying again. I'm just looking for couples before I pull some cards. You want more equality in a relationship, and I think that you haven't gotten that in the past. You want that though. 2 6s here. I just feel like there's something here about equal give and take. Maybe there's this relationship you're in. There's not equal give and take, and you feel taken advantage of or taken for. And you want more love in this relationship. You want more expressions of love. And you're feeling more sexual this month. You're wanting your partner to connect with you emotionally and sexually. And I think that it may be challenging for some reason. I feel like they're not giving you what you want. Let me look at the Three of Swords here. A message. There's some type of message that you're getting from this person, either your partner or an ex-partner, that just upsets you. I think you may have been wanting to work on a relationship and then you get some negative news. Maybe you think it's not possible. Let me look at the Moon card here. Secret. We got a secret. The Room card. We got a secret about sexual, I don't know, maybe somebody stepped outside of a relationship at some point, and it's a secret that's coming out, causing some conflict. Or it can be, doesn't have to be sexual. With the Ace of Wands beneath that, I'm kind of feeling that may be what it is, but can just be somebody that, I feel like this person, the other person that you're dealing with, they're either back and forth with your emotions, they're fickle, one minute they want to be with you, the next minute they don't, or maybe that you find out that there was somebody else that they were involved with at some point. And it's like a shock, maybe. Let me look at the Nine of Swords. Remember, this is a general reading. It's not going to apply to everybody. Somebody may have promised you something, and you thought, with the Soldier card, it was a pleasant surprise, and this is the Soldier. So you may have thought that whatever this person promised you, or whatever, you thought that you could count for it. You count on them, and that they were going to be there, but there's some deception here. And that's what's causing this Nine of Swords, like this painful heartbreak with the Three of Swords, and the up all night anxiety with the Nine of Swords. Let me look at the Knight of Cups. So after some time, I feel like this person may come back and apologize and want to reconnect. Okay? Here we have the Thought card. So this is really going to be about you considering whether or not you want to take this person back or whether or not you want to try again. For some of you, it just may be that this already happened. There's a separation, and you know exactly who this person is. Look, Six of Cups says this person is someone that maybe you are married to or are married to. You have a home together. You have a life together. But they're acting in a way that's enemy-like. It's not like they're working together with you. Like the Six of Cups is wishful, like, I want to work with you. We have a history together. Remember our history together. Maybe that's what's changing this month is, this whole dynamic of how this other person perceives you and perceives your relationship. Maybe they're wanting to reconnect with you. Maybe you're wanting to reconnect with them. But you really got to ask yourself, is this what you really want at the end of the day? Because I see you kind of, thinking it over, mulling it over, and asking yourself, am I going to get what I want out of this relationship?